Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to Java and Joy. We are continuing our February love mini series with this episode. We're in the second part of this series, and it's not just love, it's a self love series. And today we're going to really be kind of focusing on how you can create deeper relationships without losing yourself. And this is not just romantic relationships, this is friendships, all the things. Okay. And it's important to remember that you don't have to give up you to have real relationships. And that's what we're going to be diving into, which I'm so excited for. I love February. I mean, who doesn't love to talk about love? It's the topic that I could never get tired of talking about, right? So that is what we're going to be covering today. So welcome back. Before we get started, this episode is actually coming out on Valentine's Day week and Galentine's Day week for those of you that celebrate that. So happy Valentine's Day, happy Galentine's Day. And I hope that you guys are doing something that celebrates love this week. If you are not in a relationship, that is fine. In fact, that's even better. Use this time to celebrate the love for yourself, or you can celebrate a friendship. It could be a new friendship, an old friendship. Doesn't matter. Just celebrate love. Love, love, and love. We never have enough love in this world. Am I right? So really lean into that. Not just this week. I mean, not even just this month. I mean, all the time. Celebrate love. Love is like the most beautiful part of life. So let's savor it, let's cherish it, and definitely celebrate it. Okay, so happy Valentine's and Galentine's Days to you all, and enjoy this week thoroughly. So, with that said, let's do our normal warm up, getting ready for the episode like I like to do. So grab your coffee or whatever beverage that you prefer. It doesn't have to be coffee. If you're not a coffee girl, that's okay. And get a comfy seat. Welcome to your coaching cafe. If you're new to me, hi, I am Carla Joy. I am your little pocket coach that you can carry around and hopefully bring some joy into your life every single day or whenever you need it most. And if you are driving, obviously it's hard to pull up a comfy seat or, make a beverage, but hopefully you can at least try to be comfortable. Either way, wherever you are, take a deep breath, release all the tension in your body, anywhere that feels tight, loosen it up, and just really enjoy this time that is just for you. Already get a pat on the back for spending time with yourself right this moment. So I always like to share my joy moment over the past week, and I encourage you guys to do the same. Before I share mine, do me a favor. Share your joy moment online, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Share your joy moment, and it could be you just holding a cup of coffee, but do me a favor, share that joy moment with the public and tag me in it at Beauty by Carla Joy. Not only do I pick random people for some free goodies for sharing all these wonderful moments and joy moments that you have, but it really does pay forward the joy to everybody. And it just helps spread more positivity, more love, more joy into the world every single day. And the more people see you enjoying different moments, it's going to encourage and inspire them to do the same. So pay it forward with a simple picture of doing something that brings you joy. And for my joy moment this week, if you are anyone who lives in Indiana, along with me, or anywhere in the Midwest, and I think a vast majority of the east side of our country right now, then you're probably buried in snow like us, or in very, very cold temperatures, ice storms, all these things. So it's not been very easy to go do a lot. We've been going a little stir crazy. But we finally, got through some levels of snow over the last week. Schools got back into session. Roads got a little bit better, and we were able to venture out this past weekend, which I was so grateful for. And it kind of made me realize that there can be so much little tiny moments of joy that we don't realize, or just kind of our normal routine that we miss out on or take for granted. For example, me and my husband always like to go somewhere to eat on the weekends. And which we were able to do that this past weekend, which was great. But we decided to just kind of venture out into other areas of town and just try different places that we have never been in. And we ended up going into I think 20 places total. We did not eat in every one of these places. Let me clarify. But we went into each one, looked at the menus, kind of see what the vibe's about. And then in some of them, we would just order one little thing to share and try. And it was just really fun to try new things, get out of our comfort zone, see different environments. And when you're cooped up in your house for days and days and days, you're grateful to see any environment that's just not your own home. I will say that. But wow, was it really great to really just see a lot of new things in a short amount of time. It kind of felt like we were on vacation, just not on the same roads, not in the same places, not the same people. And it was wonderful. So I highly encourage you, even if you don't want to go eat a bunch of different places, just go to an area of town that you haven't tried, that you don't frequent, and go to different strip malls or, whatever, and just go in them and walk around. And you'll be surprised, just how that change of environment can really kind of recharge the batteries, so to speak. And it really filled my self-care cup that I needed so badly. So that was my personal joy moment over the last week. So grateful just to be out and about, number one, but two, just get to try new things. And of course, grateful that I got to do that with my husband and, my partner in life. So it was amazing. And I plan on doing that more often now. I think we're going to make this kind of a thing where at least once a month, we're hey, we're going somewhere different and getting out of our comfort zones. So that's my joy moment. So go share yours. I want to know what they are. I'd love to hear what your joy moments were over the last week. So, all right. Well, now we can dive into our rebuilding connection. That is going to be the overall title of this episode, but it's going to be how to create deeper relationships without losing yourself. And we're going to just start off with something that's super honest here. Okay. It's probably going to be a little uncomfortable, but we can be surrounded by people, whether that's even if we're married or in long-term relationships. We could be having our kids around us, coworkers, friends. We can have a calendar that is chocked full of events and still feel lonely. And this is not lonely because you don't have people around you. It's not even lonely because you don't feel seen. Everyone's looking at you, right? They see you. It's lonely because you don't feel met. You don't feel safe to really be you, the real, raw you. And if that's resonating with you right now, I want you to know this. There's nothing wrong with you. This kind of loneliness doesn't come from actually being alone. It comes from being disconnected with yourself while somehow staying connected to everyone else. And many of us women, we learn how to be everything for everybody. We all know that, right? We're the listener, we're the supporter, we're the doer, the scheduler, the planner, we're the fixer. Sometimes we're the emotional glue. But very few of us have learned how to say, this is who I am and this is what I need. You may not even know what you need, let alone be able to say it to anybody else. So today we're going to talk about how to rebuild connections that you already have or new ones without shrinking, without people pleasing, without losing your actual self in the process. So take a breath. It's going to be a safe conversation. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. But it's such an important conversation for us to have because I would say 8 out of 10 women I speak to feel this way. And that's 8 out of 10 too many, in my opinion. So I want to make that 0 out of 10. That is my goal. So in order to kind of talk about this, we're going to start with understanding the difference between attachment and connection. Okay? They're not the same thing at all. Attachment is like where you find yourself thinking or saying, please don't leave. I'll adjust just to keep the peace. I'll stay quiet so that things don't get uncomfortable. How many of you have done this? Just because you don't want something to change, or you don't want to like take the chance that someone might leave or you might lose someone. So you stay quiet, you stay silent. You shut down what you need, how you feel. Lots of us have felt like this. Connection, however, says, you know what? Let's be real with me. I want you to know me, the unknown. I want to be known. And we can both stay, even if things are uncomfortable. I can stay if it's uncomfortable, and you can stay if it's uncomfortable. Attachment is driven by fear. Connection is built on truth. And I think that as women, we can confuse attachment for love because attachment feels so intense. It feels so necessary and urgent, right? I gotta keep it all together. So it feels like love because you think you need it. But connection actually feels calm. It feels grounded and mutual. It feels peaceful. And here's where, this shows up, like, especially for women, where we are people pleasing, where we are avoiding conflict, where we are doing emotional labor for everybody else. And emotional labor is like managing other people's feelings, anticipating other people's reactions, keeping the peace among your household, friends, or coworkers, or carrying an emotional weight for a relationship. All that is emotional labor. It's all a way of people pleasing, and it's all a way of avoiding conflict. And all of that is driven by fear. It's driven through the attachment side of things, not the connection side of things. So over time, this becomes exhausting. And you start thinking like, why am I always the one that's holding everything together? Like, why do I somehow feel invisible? Yet I'm present for everybody, for everything. Why don't people show up for me like I show up for them? And here's the hard truth for that. And you don't blame yourself. This is meant to empower you. People can only meet you at the level that you've allowed yourself to be known. If you're always performing easy or always saying, I'm fine, no one knows you're struggling. No one knows you need support. No one knows how you actually feel. No one even knows who you actually are. So we can't blame others for not reciprocating or being there for us or making us feel seen or heard or whatever if we've done nothing to even help them understand where we are. If we're constantly saying, I'm fine, I got this, I'm good, no worries. How many of you catch yourself saying those things all the time? It's fine, I'm fine, no worries. Oh my gosh, I've caught myself saying this so many times. I don't even want to admit it. I don't want to admit it. Now, I will say, for me, I'm pretty good about being honest with my husband. Maybe not, wasn't always, but I've been pretty good with that. But like with friendships, business relationships, I'm not as good. I'm always like, yeah, I'm fine. Oh, that'll work. Sounds good. Let's do that. Like, I even do it. And I can't be mad at them when they don't realize I'm exhausted. We're not giving them clear signs, right? We're not giving them the information for them to even process it, so to speak. Okay. So we absolutely have to allow people to know us at the levels that we expect them to reciprocate at. And that requires us to sometimes be a little more honest and open and uncomfortable. And that's hard to do because, again, we don't want to rock any boats. We don't want to maybe upset somebody. But the reality is, if you keep doing those things, you're always going to be exhausted. You're always going to feel like it's one-sided. You're always going to feel like you're the one doing everything and no one's reciprocating. And that's the truth. And to be honest, the reason why, like us as women, why we overgive, let's talk about this. Let's talk about why women overgive. This didn't come out of nowhere, ladies. Many of us were conditioned super early to believe that being needed equals being loved, or like being agreeable means being safe. Being selfless means you're worthy. So overgiving just became our identity. Like you weren't just doing too much, you were being the good one. You always try to be the good one, the strong one, the reliable one, the glue that holds it all together. But that's how we end up overgiving. And because we feel like it's impossible to stop that and to let go of that, that's why we continue to do it. But if you were to stop overgiving, you can start asking yourself, who am I? Right? Like, and understand that you will still be loved and you will still belong. You just have to like reframe it. So hear it this way. Here's how we can reframe it gently. Okay. Overgiving isn't generosity. It's actually self-protection. So you're not being generous by just give. You're self-protecting. You don't want somebody to leave you or be disappointed in you, or you don't want to let someone down, right? That is self-protection. And it's basically you're constantly telling yourself, if I stay useful, I won't be abandoned. If I stay quiet, I won't be rejected. If I stay flexible, I won't be alone. But I'm telling you right now, the cost of that protection is disconnection from your own needs, from your own desires, from your truth. And eventually, it's going to disconnect you from the people around you. Because resentment grows when our needs aren't met. So you're actually going to resent people around you because they're not meeting you where you want them to. When it actually is our fault that they're not meeting us where we want them to. We're mad at them for something we've created. And we have to stop doing that. We have to get out of that cycle. So we need to learn to have like a communication reframe. So this is where a lot of women get stuck. You know something isn't working, but you don't know how to say it, especially without guilt. So I'm going to give you some language here because language creates freedom. So here are some sentences that I'm going to create here for you. And these are going to create connection, not conflict. These are the things that you can say that aren't going to come out just rigid. We'll use the word rigid. Here's one. I need more support here. It's not an accusation, it's a truth. Or this no longer works for me. It's not a rejection, it's a boundary. I don't want to keep pretending. It's not drama, it's you being honest. None of these blame, none of these point fingers, none of these call names. They don't attack. They don't over-explain. They don't over-justify, right? They just simply tell the truth in a matter-of-fact manner, but in a very gentle way. And let me tell you something. This is so important to remember. Healthy relationships can handle honesty. Healthy relationships can handle truth. Unhealthy ones rely on silence. When you change how you communicate, your relationships will shift. They'll deepen. Some will feel uncomfortable at first. Some may even fade. It doesn't mean you did something wrong. And it means that you've stopped abandoning yourself. Maybe that relationship needed to fade. Not every relationship is going to last forever. Friendships come and go, coworkers come and go, even love relationships come and go. But wouldn't you rather have the relationships where you get to just be you? Far less exhausting, that's for sure. Far less, right? So now let's talk about relationships that shift or end. And I know this is where it gets so super uncomfortable. I'm not telling you that just by being honest, relationships are going to end. And even if you continue to do exactly what you're doing now and you don't be honest, relationships may still end. Okay. So it's not like, doing or not doing may or may not change anything, right? But we're going to normalize this part that relationships could shift or end for one reason or another. When you stop overgiving, when you start speaking up, when you stop performing and being who people expect you to be, some relationships are going to change. Very likely. And that can be painful. You may actually grieve the changes of these relationships. You may even miss like various versions of relationships that no longer exist. And you may even feel guilty for wanting more. But let me say this. Outgrowing relationships does not make you ungrateful. It means you're evolving. Some people only knew the version of you that was overextended and really kind of fake. Wasn't really truly you. And some relationships were probably built on convenience and not a connection. And it stinks. It stinks because you put work into that relationship, probably a lot of work. And you're like, what a waste of time, all for nothing. I mean, all those thoughts are going to come to your head like, oh, I've wasted X amount of years. I mean, I don't want to start over. All those questions come. And if you're okay with staying quiet, you can keep taking that path, right? But if you really want to be true to yourself and be who you are and be truly happy, then you're going to have to be honoring yourself at some point. I know that realization can hurt, but it also creates space. It's going to create space for you where relationships actually feel mutual. They're going to feel honest and supportive and safe. You are allowed to want relationships where you don't have to disappear to belong. You get to just be you and have them love you for it. That is so powerful and amazing. So powerful and amazing. And you can do that simply by honoring yourself and being you. It's kind of awesome. And I will say this too. You probably have some relationships now where you're putting a lot of work in. And if you do choose to be a little more honest, it does not mean they're going to end. Not every relationship's going to end. They might change a little bit because people are going to start to kind of see a new layer of you. But the ones that were meant to last will. And the new ones that are meant to come will. And that's kind of exciting too. Getting to know somebody new, making a new connection, whether that's romantic or friendship, doesn't matter. Making new friends is awesome. It's fun. Getting to know somebody new, it's exciting. You can never have too many friends, ladies. Never. Your circle can't be too big. It can be too big if these people in the circle aren't actually knowing you and you're not getting anything out of the relationships other than you putting in work all the time. That's too big of a circle because, again, it's going to exhaust you. It's not real true friendship. But if you're able to create a real circle of friends off of the real you, it's not going to feel like work anymore. It's not going to feel exhausting. You're going to feel seen, heard, supported, loved, safe, honored. And you're going to have like just that emotional charge back. You're not going to feel so tired. All this by just being real with yourself and honest with those around you. Because again, if you want people to truly see and hear and feel you and help you, support you, you have to speak up. You have to. You cannot stay quiet. And like I said, you don't have to come at people. This does not have to be combative. You can simply just say, hey, I need this. Hey, I'm feeling this. And most people are going to be like, oh, wow, I didn't know you were feeling that way. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's chat about that. Let's fix that. The people that are around you that love you are going to listen and want to make you feel better in whatever capacity that is and in any way that they can. Because guess what? They're also wired like you. They're also wired. They want to help people too, right? Obviously, while still honoring themselves. But you can be honoring each other and supporting each other in an honest way instead of it feeling like another job or a chore. So you just have to be honest and open with yourself. You are allowed to stay present in your relationships. You are allowed to not get lost. You can still be you. That's what I want you to take away from this. Sound good? I want you to know that if something in this episode stirred you up, I want you to trust that the stirring isn't dissatisfaction. It's just awareness. Awareness is, the beginning of change. And if you're really ready to rebuild connections with yourself and with others in ways that feel grounded and true, you don't have to lose yourself to be loved. You don't have to earn connections. You are allowed to be real and just be you. So don't worry if it makes you feel uneasy. Change is always going to feel, bumpy. But change brings about new ways to find new joys. Change is awesome. Change takes you out of your comfort zone. And I'm telling you, think about it any time in your entire life. Anytime something has ever changed, you discovered something new, either about yourself, something you like to do, someone around you, the world. It's a new way to find new joys. Change is a good thing. Change is what keeps us alive and motivated. It's part of the journey that we have to enjoy. So just remember that you're allowed to be real. Okay? So remember to choose truth, choose yourself, and watch how these relationships, they transform for you. So let's take one more sip of our Java. I haven't gotten one in this whole time, which is fine because I think I had about half a pot before we started recording. So probably had enough caffeine for a day, but I love my coffee. So I want you to take this into your day, take this into consideration, start listening to yourself, honoring yourself, and loving yourself. Because let me tell you, all this to say, everything that I've just shared with you is all about self-love. When you honor yourself, you are loving yourself. It all kind of just ties into that together. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope this conversation poured joy into your day. If you love this episode, please share this with a friend who also needs to learn to honor themselves and love themselves and be true to themselves. And as always, come hang out with me on social media. I love seeing you guys all there at Beauty by Carla Joy. And yeah, just enjoy this joy journey, guys. And if you have any questions, concerns, always feel free to message me. If you were listening to this on a podcast or on YouTube, links are all in the description for you down below. If you're listening on the radio, go to beautybycarlajoy.com/coach. All of my free resources, guides, everything's there. You can sign up for my free newsletter. Lots of free coaching tips and tricks in there. We do so many fun things in the community. We do giveaways, and I just released my February self-care calendar, which has an activity every single day of the month that you can do, whether it's a solo activity, something with a friend, family member, whatever. And I do these each month, and they're just a lot of fun. Just something that you can kind of look forward to every day, or a little way to sneak in some self-care every single day of the month. And it's all themed for you each month. So again, this is our love month. So go check that out as well. But as always, just remember, keep honoring yourself, keep loving yourself, ladies, and I will see you again soon. Go find your joy. Bye.